Hello lovely people, and welcome to Maria's Calming Space. Today we're going to be drawing over this pencil drawing with ink using a dip pen and Windsor and Newton water resistant ink. So that's the ink that I'm using. This is the dip pen. It's got like a little well here. Now you can use liners, and I've just got one to show you here. These are Unipin fine line. These are the ones that I use. There's lots of different makes. Water and fade proof pigment ink. And you can get a variation. I just did these liners, they come in various sizes. That's the ones that I've got, and it just shows you the variation of thickness. With the dip pens, if you press more, then you can get a thicker line. Okay, so this is a follow-on from my other video on how to draw an easy pencil flower. So it's probably a good idea to watch that one first before this one. But what we did is we imagined that the direction of the sun was coming from here and shaded where the petals would be in the shade to try and give a 3D image. So the light would be captured down on here, and then slight shading as the leaf, the petal bends over. So the light caught this side, but then the shading on the other side. As I say, that's all explained in the other video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to do a couple of leaves. I'll just say that you just dot the pen up to that line, to the ink to that line. You don't need to go right up to that edge, just up to there, which is just above the actual tiny little well that you can see there. Now with shading, you can do cross hatching, or you can do stippling, and then the darker areas you put more dots, and then the lighter area. I won't be doing that with this flower. I'll be doing just lines, but I'll show you. But you can do that, and then obviously the more you cross hatch, the darker that segment. Okay. So as I say, it's quite scratchy this. You'll hear it on the camera, so I'll just do a couple, then I'll do it on time lapse, and then we can colour it in. Don't worry if your lines aren't exactly as you've drawn them, that's okay, because we can just rub the pencil out. I'm just going to do lines in the direction of the shadow. Notice I went slightly wrong here. This happens. Don't worry about it. You won't notice that at the end when we finish. So this petal will bend over slightly there. So we'll have a little bit of shading there. I'm just going to do lines. Generally do 3 lines on a petal as well, so just do that. So it helps give shape. The sun will be coming down on here, so there will be slight shading here. Get a little bit of depth underneath there. Same with that one. The thing with dip pens, you've got to keep dipping it in. This on this, as the petal bends over here, the ink will flow. It's just sometimes it's a little bit slow to come through. I'll just do this one under here, then I'll put it on time lapse. Okay, I'll just pop that down and then pop it on time lapse moment. Okay, hello, I'm back. So what I did is I finished penning, obviously you will see in the time lapse, and then I rubbed all the pencil marking out. Just see a bit there. But what I did, which is really important because it's happened to me a couple of times, is I put a hairdryer on the ink because it's so easy to smudge ink. So really either let it dry, give it a good hour to dry, or put a hairdryer on it. So obviously this is my own interpretation of pen and ink, so I do tend to put quite a bit of ink on because that's the look that I like, but of course you can put less, as much as you want. It's preference really. I do put the lines in my flowers as well, so I put them in. Okay, so let's colour it. So I'm going to be using mostly Faber Castell Polychromos colour pencils, but I'm going to be using also Prismacolor Caran. Okay, so I've decided on a pink flower, orangey yellow middle, also a green stem. I won't do the stem first, I will do the centre first. These Polychromos pencils got an orally base to them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just going along with the shading as well. I'm using 3 colours in the middle. The shadow, probably actually 4. This is a lighter orange. And then I've got a cadmium yellow and a light yellow. So what I'll probably do is put the cadmium there. It's a lovely vibrant yellow. Just where the sun's catching it, go to the really light yellow. And you can actually just leave bits of white, you know, just do little scratchy bits, so you can leave some highlights in there. And then I really do like my contrast, so I will go in and put a bit of darker bit around there. Okay, so with the leaves, it's I think I'm using a magenta Faber Castell pencil, and it's just basically going wherever you've got your shadows, which is so good when we did the pencil. It's a marker, or we had the pencil shading that gave us the marker for where to go with the shading with the pen and ink, and again this. So you've just got to go where you've got the darker bits. I tend to, with petals, I would tend to shade in the direction of the petal goes, so keep seeing some pencil marks there. And also I tend to do a darker line. I'm just going to sharpen that a minute. Let's get a bit of a sharper edge on it. When I've got that sharp edge on it, I'm just going to do these lines. Too sharp, never mind. And again with this one. And where you've done it with the ink, you know, if you've like this one I couldn't bring out so much, that's absolutely fine, because you can take it out a bit more, but it gives it just, it's just very loose. You don't follow the lines, press that a bit harder on it. This is optional. I just tend to do this because I always do it with all my flowers. Okay, yeah, so going back to here, just press a little bit firmer on this area here where you've got your shading, and then just loosen it off a bit so you've got a variation of shading. So we're still thinking of where the light's going to go. Got a bit of shading around here. And again, what I'll do is I'll just do one leaf, and then I will go on and do it on the time lapse. So a little bit of shading around here. Let's just do this one here. We made the little error before. We won't be able to see that now. Okay, and then I've got a Prismacolor, an old Prismacolor pencil here. I'm just gonna shade that in. don't worry too much about leaving any white, because we can use the rubber to do some highlight. So, and what I would do is, just to give that a bit of more shaded, is just go in with your finger. It's surprising how much you can blend with your finger. There's a little bit of oil base to these ones, and you can go back and see if it needs a bit more variation of shading. Again. And then what I would do, I'm not going to do it after, is just where, clean a bit of rubber. I'll sort this rubber out for when I do it. It's just where we want the highlights to be, we can just use the rubber there. Anyway, I'll put it onto time lapse. Okay, so back again, and that's finished now. I've left the stalk just to say that if you've only got one green, a good thing to do, if I use the cadmium yellow, is to put a blue on the camera. Is to put a blue where your shading is, and that will give you a darker green. And yellow on that side, and then when you come to put your green on top, it'll make the green a darker that side. Lighter in the middle, and even lighter again on the outside. Okay, so as you probably saw, did the two colours, and just where the highlights were, I used the rubber. So you can make the highlights as much as you want. And also, if you wanted to do this as a watercolour, you could do this as a watercolour, because the ink is water resistant, so that's absolutely fine. Yeah, so there we go. All done. As I say, you can cut that out and put it on a journal, or you could just pop that onto the front of a card. Just bring it a bit closer. There we go. Okay, so if you found value in this video, then please click. Something's just dropped down. Sorry, if you find value in this video, then please click the like button and subscribe, because it does help the channel to grow. And thank you very much, and thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.